For a time, we tried to contact him by radio, but no response.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to episode 7 of the Dumb Marks podcast. Chris, how was your week?
Week was pretty good, Steve. Got caught up on the first 4 Karate Kid movies, so part of our little weekly Cobra Kai update in a way.
You watched the one with Jaden Smith?
I haven't watched that yet, so that's the only one.
So what were the 4?
So the 3 with
Elizabeth or
Hillary Swank was 4.
Swank, yeah.
So I actually didn't hate that one growing up. I kind of watched that one a few times.
I didn't either. But I don't necessarily associate that with this. I guess it would be like the Creed version of Rocky. Like,
yeah.
You know, but yeah. So it's funny that you mentioned that you watched those. My nieces are super into Cobra Kai.
Okay.
And so Christmas coming up here shortly. Gonna try to get them something, and there's a Cobra Kai store that you can go to on the internet that is just strictly all officially licensed Cobra Kai gear, whatever. So that'll be from Uncle Steve for Christmas this year. Get them Cobra Kai stuff.
They gotta put out just in time.
Yeah, so don't let there be Cobra Kai gis, because my nieces will be walking around with Cobra Kai gis on, ready to whoop some ass.
And so I really liked the first one. I mean, it's the classic. I didn't remember the second one at all. It's when they went to Japan, and then the third one they actually touch on in the series is whenever Daniel goes and joins Cobra Kai for very briefly. So yeah, I was glad to go back and watch them. They're all on Showtime right now. The first 4. I have never watched the Jaden Smith one yet, so...
Yeah, neither have I. I have not. You know, the second one is a little slept on, a little underrated.
Yeah.
And the second one is just as good as the other 2. I was a fan of all 3 of them growing up, and so I'm glad that they still hold up when you go back and watch them today when we're, 36 years old.
So to continue on with Cobra Kai, I don't know if you saw, this week one of the co-creators, John Hurwitz, tweeted out that the season 3 is currently in the writing process, and they're expecting to begin filming in early 2021.
You mean season 4?
Season 4, yeah.
Season 3 is getting released January 8th, so season 4. Yeah, I saw that as well. Big things coming from Cobra Kai. Excited here. A bright spot in a rather dull 2020. Which officially jumped the shark for me this week, because as a chubby kid and a fat kid, I like food and snacks. And
of course.
My favorite snack is the Little Debbie Christmas trees. It's what I look forward to every holiday season.
It's a classic.
I get them as a gift from my children. They know me very well. They play on the fat kid vibes that we put out in our household. So they made an announcement this week that they're not going to be released on time. They've been pushed back for whatever reason. I didn't bother looking into it too much because I was heartbroken by the fact that they're pushing them back. So that kind of officially put the exclamation point on 2020 being the worst freaking year ever.
I mean, just that to me is like the kickoff of Christmas, whenever the Little Debbie Christmas trees come out.
Yeah, some people go by, first time seeing lights up. Other people go by, like my wife goes by the Countdown to Christmas Hallmark movies that start October 23rd. Like, that's Christmas for her. And meanwhile, it's October 23rd. Me, it's whenever I walk into a Giant Eagle or a Walmart or wherever I'm buying groceries from, and I just happen to stumble across the Little Debbie Christmas trees. Yeah. And I go, it's holiday season. After that, the only thing else that I need is to see the Eaton Park commercial.
Yes.
And then I'm golden. I know it's officially holiday season. So now I'm getting a delay on that, and they, sometime in November, I believe they're going to be released now, and let's just hope they stay true.
Yeah. But there's a Christmas song. I think that's Christmas to me. I mean, those 2 things definitely sum up Christmas in Pittsburgh.
Yep. So other than that, we got a cold, crisp, actual fall morning here.
Yeah.
For the first time, I went outside to take the dogs out this morning and could see my breath, and I was out there in my t-shirt and shorts, so the balls tightened up into the stomach a little bit. Took a little while for them to drop back down because of it being cold. But
they're not coming back down till springtime.
my wife got them in a jar anyway, so it don't really matter. But no, so it actually feels like fall around here. Got on a hoodie and some sweatpants, so it actually feels like fall today, which is nice. Change of season instead of the constant warm weather that we've been having. I know a lot of people are excited for that. So
yeah, and we talked even last week about the constant change of weather too, and it seems I've heard a lot of people this week say they're not sure what they have. If it's cold, if it's allergies.
Yeah, you never.
Some people are worried about COVID with it. That's going to be continuation, in the coming months.
Yep, absolutely. So, anything else before we jump into a jam-packed week of stuff to get through?
Yeah, we do have a lot of stuff to cover. A couple things I just wanted to bring up too is that I don't know how many sitcoms you watch on ABC, but sitcoms are actually returning this week. I'm looking forward to the Goldbergs and the Connors. Those come back this upcoming Wednesday, the 21st.
Don't watch either one of those.
Okay.
But I did see on CBS November FBI is coming back, NCIS Los Angeles is coming back. So those ones are slated to come back here. I'm super excited, and I hope I haven't heard anything of it yet, but I'm super excited for the new Law and Order spinoff with Stabler getting his own show. It's supposed to start off with him being on the first couple episodes of Law and Order SVU.
Okay. Crossover.
To kind of cross over, and then that's how it's gonna show that whatever I think he's doing, like organized crime.
Okay.
Is what he's going to be the head of or be a detective in or whatever the case may be. But it's going to start with him on SVU. So
that'll be good.
If you're big Law and Order fans, Stabler and was a main factor on the SVU shows for a long time. And when he kind of left, it was disappointing for a lot of people that follow the series. But very exciting to see him get back and see what Dick Wolf can do with another series.
I know they had said a lot of NBC dramas look to return in November. Is that when that one's on track, or
originally yes? So I'm hoping that they've stayed the course, time frame wise. So
okay.
That'll be good to get that back on and going. Speaking of sitcoms and that, did you see that? I guess there was a petition going around to have Black Widow's movie directly on the streaming.
I did not know.
Yeah. So I guess people are getting a little restless with the delay in movie releases and stuff not coming out. And, I understand there's a whole business side of things that, we're not privy to, deals with theaters and everything else. I'm sure there's a lot of minutia to go through with that stuff. But, they've started a petition to get that released on streaming instead of pushing it back to whenever it was going to come out.
I think they pushed it back right now till May. I think the last I saw. So I think that's a full year that's going to be pushed back. I did see, though, this week that Disney did announce that a change in their corporate structure and streaming's now their number one priority.
Which it should be. Their Disney Plus service has gotten a lot of flack. A lot of people say they're not going to renew whenever they're due again just because there's really nothing on there that's making them want to stay.
Okay.
You haven't had a lot of their original content come out, and understandably so, with COVID, you can't really film that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, that's put a huge wrench in, I'm sure, their plans for what they wanted to do with the service after it first launched.
You saw a couple movies this year come out. Grand Mulan hasn't officially been put on the service, but that'll be on sometime in December.
Yeah, you have to pay for it. They did put it out. You had to pay for it. So,
and then there was a couple other ones cartoons that they had. They added Frozen 2 very quickly. After that, it was out of the theaters. I think it was Onward was the Pixar movie. They added that on pretty quickly.
That's a very good movie, by the way.
I didn't watch that yet.
If you have kids, and even if you don't have kids and you like the Pixar movies because of being good movies in general, Onward is a good movie. That's a good one to watch.
And I don't know if it's a Pixar movie. I think it is, but there's a new one that's going to be coming on soon. It was supposed to get a theatrical release, but it was called Soul. It's supposed to be about a musician, I think a blues musician. He dies, kind of what happens to his soul afterwards. So I think that could have It looks good, so I'm looking forward to that, and it jumping on Disney Plus, I'll definitely watch it. Speaking of streaming services and other things, I don't know if you were a fan of the show Dexter on Showtime.
I've never watched one episode of Dexter just because I didn't have Showtime.
Okay.
So I have nothing about it. I saw the reaction to them saying that they're coming back for a limited
it's going
short series.
Right now, it's supposed to start filming beginning of 2021. They're expecting to release it on TV on Showtime in the fall of 2021 for a limited 10-episode run. Since you had never watched it, I won't say too much about it.
I know a lot of people like that show a whole lot.
I love Dexter. The first few seasons, absolutely love. The last season was terrible. The series finale was terrible.
So maybe this is their redeeming of
yeah,
that.
they basically said they're not going to... It's not going to be like some shows like where they kind of alter what happened in the finale. They're going to keep it the way it is, and this is going to try to redeem what they did.
Okay.
So I hope it works out, because that really did leave a sour taste in my mouth for the series, because it was, for so long, it was so good, and then it just started going downhill.
You know, I know we're going a little long in the intro here, but just a quick question on that. So which series have you watched where the series finale actually lived up to what you were expecting it to be? Because I know back in the day, Sopranos, when that series finale happened, people wanted to riot. Like, you know, and unfortunately, you know, we never got the movie that they were going to plan on doing, you know. So, like, but to you, what show that was a very popular show actually had a series finale that lived up to the billing of what that show was?
Honestly, the first one that jumps to mind, and I'd have to think about for other ones, but the first one that jumps to mind is Boy Meets World. I really liked the series finale of that show. I thought that kind of wrapped everything
That's
up.
a left turn I was not expecting you to go down with. So I don't even remember the series finale of Boy Meets World. Like,
It's whatever...
I know my daughter watches. She's watched the Girl Meets World.
Okay. So Girl Meets World takes place in New York.
Right.
And that's because in the series finale of Boy Meets World, Topanga got a job in New York.
Okay.
So that's whenever they moved.
Okay. All right.
So,
all right. For me, I know in recent memory, I would have to say Sons of Anarchy.
Okay.
The last episode there. I know it may not have been what people wanted, but for what the show was and what the series was, and that, I believe that did a very good job of tying everything up and putting a bow on the whole show.
And it did wrap it up.
Yeah.
You know, because I always thought that the way it kept going was that, okay, we're going to see, you know, more of this show at some point. Especially now that seems to be so popular for things to get a second life. You know, I would like to see Sons of Anarchy continue. I haven't watched the Mayans yet.
Mayans is really good. The first two seasons was really good. They're supposed to be getting a third, even though Kurt Sutter's not going to be involved anymore.
Okay.
He got fired, and if you want to look into that, you can look into that. But he talked about wanting to do a prequel with the original 9.
Yeah.
You know, leading up to the beginning of Sons of Anarchy with Jackson, Clay, and Gemma and all that. So who knows if that's going to get greenlit somewhere and get going.
I think it would be a good movie.
Yeah. So that to me was a series ending episode that kind of tied everything together.
I kind of feel like growing up, I enjoyed series finales more than I do now, because so many of them don't wrap up anymore. It seems like they just make it another episode. Sometimes they'll wrap it up, sometimes they don't.
Fresh Prince was another one.
Fresh Prince is a very good one.
That's a very good one. And they just did a reunion not too long ago. They had a Zoom reunion with everybody from the cast, because it's been 30 years.
So they're doing one. I don't know if the Zoom one's the one that they're putting on HBO Max, because HBO Max has the whole series.
I believe that's what it was on.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then he also had done one on Snapchat. I don't know if you saw that. He was just doing something during quarantine just at home, and they did a mini one on there. But the one that's going to be on HBO Max will actually include the original Aunt Viv too, which is the first time that she'll be involved in anything.
Then this was that one that they did, because 30 years. I was watching Fresh Prince earlier today, and I was like, 1991 or 1990, it was like, holy cow. Like, I don't remember it being that long ago. You know what
it doesn't
I mean?
feel that long ago.
All right. Well, I don't have anything else. You got anything else in the
Just
intro?
one last quick thing. I don't know if you saw that the new iPhone 12 came out. It was announced this week.
I did see that. Not a whole lot of, at least from what I follow and look at, there wasn't a whole lot of buzz necessarily.
So I have the 11 Pro. It seems like it's just internal upgrade of that. Doesn't seem like it's adding anything too new other than the fact that this is the first Apple 5G phone. So if you want to have the 5G network, you need this phone. Apparently you can't have that. But the thing I thought was weird, it says that the 5G turns off and on. So if you're not in a 5G area, you don't have 5G service. So I thought that's kind of odd. But I don't really know how the whole 5G thing's going to work yet. So.
It's not everywhere. So
Yeah.
it's only certain cities or certain areas. So that would make sense because you wouldn't be able to connect.
Yeah.
So then you would go back to what you have now?
I guess so.
As far as 4G,
Yeah.
you would just default back to that.
So that's kind of interesting. But really, other than that, I don't think that the phone was anything too newsworthy. So it really depends on if you need a new phone. To determine if you want to upgrade to the 12, I guess.
All right. Well, that's all I got for the intro. You good?
I'm good.